During World War I, the young Port plans a strategy to help the Allied forces in reclaiming territory from the Central Powers, but he is unable to prevent his captain's death from a booby trap, which mutilates Parrot's face. His lover nurse Catherine looks after him and encourages him to grow a mustache to hide his scars. In 1937, Poirot walks into a club where jazz singer Salome is performing. He sees Jackie introduce her fiancée Simone to her childhood friend, heiress Lynette, in order to offer him work. Lynette hires Simon immediately, and sparks fly between the two, much to Jackie's chagrin. 6 weeks later, in Egypt, Poirot runs into his friend Bache, and Bayo's mother, an artist named Euphemia Bay, invites Poirot to the hotel to celebrate the wedding of an unexpected couple line, and Simon others join. Their honeymoon trip, including Lynette's maid Louise Salome, and her niece and manager, Rosalie, Lynette's godmother Van Schuyler, with her nurse Mrs. Bowers, Lynette's financial manager, and cousin Andrew, and Lynette's former fiancé Dr. Windlesham. Lynette seeks Poirot's protection from the obsessive Jackie, who has followed the couple to Egypt. Poirot is powerless to stop Jackie, who shows him a gun to avoid Jackie. The couple and their guests board a cruise ship. However, Lynette tells Poirot that she does not trust her guests. During a stopper at Abu Simbel, Bulk admits to Poirot that he is dating Rosalie, despite Euphemia's disapproval, begins to show an interest in Salome after a boulder falls off a column and nearly crushes Lynette and Simon. The guests return to the ship to find Jackie on board. Leonard and Simon decide to leave the following morning. Meets Jackie, who is still determined to win back Simon. Poirot reveals that he gave up romance after Catherine died in a mortar explosion, while Annette goes to bed. Simon confronts and insults Jackie, leading her to shoot him in the leg. Bulk and Rosalie bring Jackie to Mrs. Bowers, while Windlesham tends to Simon's wound. The next morning, Louise discovers Lynette a shot in the head and her valuable jewel necklace stolen. Poirot, assisted by Simon and Bulk, starts investigating the guests. Due to being watched by Bowers all night, Jackie is ruled out as the murderer. Lynette, who distrusted Louise's fiancé, called off their engagement, and Lynette were engaged until she left him for Simon. Lynette's father ruined Bowers' previously wealthy family. During the Great Depression, Van Schuyler is a beneficiary of Lynette's will. Bowers and she are lovers. Andrew had almost let Lynette sign a reworked contract that would have robbed her years ago. Salome and Rosalie were the targets of Lynette's racist remarks. Lynette's necklace is discovered by Euphemia. Poirot believes she was resentful of Lynette for introducing Butte to Rosalie. Jackie's gun, the murder weapon, is eventually discovered wrapped in Van Schuyler's missing scarf and missing 2 bullets. Poirot reveals that Euphemia hired him to spy on Rosalie to see if she is a good match for Book. Despite Poirot's approval, Euphemia refuses to give them her blessing, while Rosalie accuses Poirot of deception. Louise is discovered dead in the water wheel, and money discovered among her belongings. As the tension among the guests rises, Poirot notices the shape of a possible witness near blood splatter from Louise's murder, and Simon questions Bulk, who was baffled that his own friend suspects him. Poirot deduces that Beau had already discovered Lynette's death. He stole her jewel necklace and placed it in his mother's possession. Ions to implicate her for stealing, freeing him and Rosalie from her. He then saw Louise extort money from the killer before she was killed and threw his coat in the river because it was stained with Louise's blood. S is assassinated from afar before he can reveal the killer. Poirot chases the killer, but fails to catch them, only finding Andrew's gun left behind. Poirot locks the surviving passengers in the boat's saloon and reveals the solution to the mystery. Simon is Lynette's murderer, with Jackie as the mastermind. They are still lovers, and they orchestrated Simon's romance with Lynette so that Simon would inherit her fortune. Jackie managed to distract Bulk and Rosalie by pretending to shoot Simon. While Simon faked his injury with paint stolen from Euphemia, he killed Lynette with Louise witnessing it, and then shot himself in the leg with Van Schuyler's scarf as a silencer, just in time for Windlesham to arrive. Simon later threw away the murder weapon, while Jackie murdered Louise and Bulk faced with Poirot's irrefutable proof. Jackie embraces Simon and shoots him through the back, killing both of them with a single shot. As the passengers disembark, Poirot is unable to express his feelings to Salome. 6 months later, in London, clean-shaven Poirot visits Salome's jazz club to watch her perform. Thanks for watching. To catch all the latest from us, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video drops. We'll see you in the next one.